a great result.
28th running of the Volkswagen Rally, and as before, the stages are all dotted around the friendly city of Port Elizabeth. With its inviting beaches and myriad of other attractions, this city has garnered a reputation as a place to come and relax. Relaxation and sandy beaches, however, are the last things the crews that are taking part have on their minds. Rally hosts Volkswagen decided to use the event as a springboard to introduce its new bakkie, the Amarok, to the racing fraternity at their state-of-the-art motorsport facility in Uitenhage. With South African motorsport legend Sadel van der Merwe as one of the brand ambassadors for the new vehicle, it came as no surprise that the introduction also included a declaration of war on the other manufacturers that compete in the National Off-Road Championship, as Volkswagen will be fielding an Amarok next year. But the Volkswagen Rally is all about rallying, a sport that is dear to one of the VW team's longtime sponsors, Estec.
Estec is an engineering technology company, so they're using our design technologies to design some of the components in the vehicle. They're using our data management technologies, and now they're also moving into some of the technologies that they use for simulating vehicles, vehicle handling, and those sort of things with a product called Adams.
The day before the rally also presented an opportunity for members of the public to experience the bone-jarring, adrenaline-fueled world of rallying. Thanks to a competition hosted by 3 radio stations in the area, a handful of winners was given a chance to strap themselves to the navigator's seat in some of the S2000 rally cars for a 4-kilometer sprint around a specially prepared section of one of the stages. This initiative was aimed at generating overall interest in the event, but for the competition winners, as well as some of the radio hosts who also got to share in the experience, the sheer adrenaline of it all will surely have etched these moments in their minds forever.
Our body is like inside the shell. You can't believe that jolts you. How do you do this all the time? I'm hooked. Yes, I've got to find a rally car.
For the crews at the sharp end of the championship, however, it's business as usual, with a lot riding on this year's Volkswagen Rally. The pace in 2010 has been hot so far, but 2006 champion Enzo Kuhn seems to have the right mix of speed and endurance, and in spite of a non-finish on the previous round, he leads the championship.
The trick is to lead the championship but not lead the seeding list, and unfortunately I'm leading both, which means I'm more first today on a very slippery surface.
After the first few rounds, Johnny Gemmell looked down and out, but his win during round 4 has put him right back into contention.
Yeah, you know, we started off with that non-finish the first event, so we were on the back foot from the beginning of the season. Then we had some good results. Cape Town, we were going well, and we finished down a little bit. Then the Sasol, we came second, and the last event in Ermelo, we managed to just win that one. So now it's pretty close, and this is also a nice event, one of my favorite.
Multiple champion Jan Habig lost out by 7/10 of a second in Ermelo, but still finds himself third on the overall standings and well within striking distance.
Yeah, we were a bit disappointed with the second overall, but you know, the points are pretty good, so we're going to try and do the same on this event.
A victory in Ermelo would have placed the name of Marc Cronje right at the top of the points table, but instead he finds himself in 4th and will have to do it all over again.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, the victory in Ermelo would have been a real plus for us, but unfortunately things happen, and you know, human error, there's no doubt about it.
A solid season sees JP Danso not only 5th on the points table, but he's also the leading privateer.
Yeah, going a lot better than last year. We didn't finish many rallies, and just been consistently there. We're lying 5th overall.
2 non-finishes out of 4 events is proof of just how hard defending champion Hergen Fecken is trying, but the champion can't afford another mistake.
We're a bit behind in the championship, so we need to start scoring a lot, so we're going to have to push and see if we can get a good result on this one.
As far as out-and-out speed is concerned, Zimbabwean Conrad Rotenbach has been Fecken's main rival, but he too failed to finish the last 2 events.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like you said, the last 2 haven't been great, not what we were expecting, but we've done a bit of work over the break. We had a small rally back home in Zim, and we've got some new parts and development bits, so the car feels a lot better, and hopefully we've ironed out the problem.
Charles Wilken enters his 2nd event behind the wheel of the new Ford Fiesta and will be desperate for a good result.
Yes, we need a good result. The car feels good, and I'm getting back up to speed again, and hopefully we can be quite competitive this weekend.
With no less than 15 S2000 machines entered for the Volkswagen Rally, we have a powder keg just waiting to have its fuse ignited. Fernando Reuter has been consistent all season and finds himself well within the top 10. Hein Latergan has rebuilt his Pertec Toyota Auris after his massive crash in round 4, and Japie van Niekerk returns to battle behind the wheel of his new Africa Developments version after missing the previous round due to illness. Evan Hutchison is becoming a force to be reckoned with in his first year in Class S2000, and so is Namibian driver Jaco van Dijk, while other regulars like Theuns Joubert, Mohamed Musa, Nicholas Ryan and Visser du Plessis will once again lock horns. The Volkswagen Rally is one of those magical events that has a history spanning nearly 3 decades. It's been a backdrop for some spectacular showdowns, the scene of legends being created and heroes being devastated. As in the past, some of the stages, including a nighttime romp around the Aldo Scribante circuit, are fairly near the friendly city itself. Those stages, however, are just the garnish. The real meat of this event lies in the Longmoor Forest, where smooth and flowing gravel roads are punctuated by menacing rocks and hard-stopping chasms that lie in wait. This is not a place for the faint-hearted, yet no less than 33 crews competing in 5 different classes signed up for the madness of Longmoor. With a bitter war between rivals Volkswagen and Toyota raging stronger than ever, these stages could well mark the turning point in the season. History favours the visitors, as Volkswagen have lost out to Toyota on this event more times than it cares to remember. But then again, VW did attain the almost mythical 1-3 finish here last year, a feat that leaves them optimistic for this year's rally.
Yeah, the records show that Serge Damso controlled this event for a few years. But I think for us, in the long run, the last year's Cherry was a 1-2-3, so we are out there to go and repeat what we've done last year.
Even so, Toyota has won here 13 times in the past and Volkswagen only 5 times. But what does it take to win in Port Elizabeth? One man who can answer this question is the legendary Cyril van der Merwe, who notched up 5 victories here during his own rally career.
The balance between speed and endurance here is very, very important. You've got to go fast enough not to hurt the car, but still safe enough and fast enough to actually win.
First car under the arch is the works BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polo of Enzo Kuhn and navigator Guy Hodgson, followed closely by his teammate and defending champion Hergen Fekken and Pierre Aris. Next on the road is the first of the 2 Works Castrol Toyota Aurises, this one piloted by Mark Grenier and Robert Paisley. They followed in quick succession by Jan Habig in the 3rd BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polo, Conrad Rotenbach in his privateer Ford Fiesta, and Johnny Gemmell with navigator Drew Sturrock in the 2nd Castrol Toyota Auris. The 28th Volkswagen Rally starts at the home of the sponsor, but the majority of action takes place in the Longmoor Forest. Port Elizabeth's Oval Raceway also hosts 2 stages, while the streets of Uitenhage and the Scribante racetrack provides the tarmac tests before the rally finishes at Kings Beach, back in the friendly city on Saturday afternoon. There is no time for the drivers to ease into the swing of things, as stage 1 is the famous and infamous 19-kilometre test of Culturama, which twists and winds its way right into the heart of the Longmoor Forest. Stage 2, known as King's View, follows directly after stage 1, with no opportunity to service the cars in between.
As if the myriad of corners and drop-offs don't make these stages treacherous enough, the first couple of crews on the road also has to face the loose rocks and pebbles that rob rally cars of the all-important grip they need to go as fast as possible. No one is more aware of this than championship leader Enzo Kuhn, who is first to face the music in Longmoor. Kuhn's skill at the front of the pack is evident, however, as he posts the benchmark time of 11 minutes and 1.7 seconds. But Kuhn is very much aware that his road position is going to count against him.
It was even more slippy than I thought. It's like driving on mud.
With Kuhn through stage 1, all eyes turn towards the clock to see what time defending champion Hergen Fekken and Pierre Aris in the 2nd BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polo would post. Even from his 2nd position on the road, Fekken was hopeful that he could take the fight to the Toyotas in an attempt to salvage something from the tattered remains of his championship. But the clock keeps ticking with no sign of the usually flying Fekken yet. Casual Toyota's Mark Cronier is the next man on the road, and his time of 11 minutes and 3.7 seconds is 23 seconds slower than that of the eventual stage winner, and sees Cronier navigator Robert Paisley in 6th place as the dust settles over stage 1. Not the best start, but he does have news about Fecken.
It was quite a fast right-hand corner, sort of right 5, and it was going downhill, and on the inside there were quite a few rocks. I don't know if he hit the rock and then went off, or he sort of tried to avoid it and missed the hairpin in front. He hasn't gone off too badly, he's just sort of overshot, but it looks like he's stuck.
Disaster for Volkswagen as their star driver crashes out on the very first stage of Volkswagen's home event. And with his misfortune, all hopes of another 1-2-3 finish evaporate.
And up. Oh, I don't believe it. And left 3, keep in. Unbelievable.
We had a bit of a rock on the inside. Not really a rock, but it was an uneven piece of road. And the suspension, one of the bolts on the subframe sheared. So unfortunately the wheel went out and we just couldn't finish the stage.
Jan Habig and Rolf Pitchford in the last of the 3 Works BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polos is next to emerge at the end of Culturama in a time of 10 minutes and 55.2 seconds, 6 seconds quicker than teammates Keen and Hodgson, and nearly 8 seconds faster than Cronier in the Toyota. But as impressed as the spectators at the end of the stage was with Habig's time, they couldn't help but be wowed by the stage time posted by the next crew through stage 1. Zimbabweans Conrad Rotenbach and Peter Marsh blitzed Culturama in 10 minutes and 40.8 seconds, overshadowing Habig's valiant attempt by a full 15 seconds. Rotenbach's intentions were clear: to blast past the opposition at a pace that simply could not be matched, even by the former national champion in the field. The privately entered Ford Fiesta S2000 car is truly state-of-the-art, and Rotenbach's time through Culturama shows just how devastating this machine can be.
Max King right and left over brow. 240.
Yeah, it's even faster than I thought. It's awesome. Really nice stages. I'm really happy to be here. It's a shame they couldn't do more stages in the forest. That's what railing's about. You're not really going around tracks and that. But anyway, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Next into stage 1 is Johnny Gemmel and Drew Starrock in the second Castle Toyota Auris. With the pressure to perform now even greater after his victory in Ermelo, Gemmel clearly had the bit between his teeth from the very beginning. His time of 10 minutes 52.1 seconds was nowhere near the lightning pace set by Rotenbach, but even though nobody likes to be pipped to the post by nearly 12 seconds, Gemmel has the championship in his sights. So any time that is faster than that posted by the Volkswagens is a good one, and in this instance good enough to make him the second quickest man through stage 1. But Rotenbach's time and the demise of Fecken weren't the only surprises held in store by the wily Culturama, because the 4th fastest time for the stage came from a privately entered vehicle in the form of the Pertec Toyota Auris piloted by Heinrich Lategan with navigator Johan van der Merwe to his left. Lategan's pace in Ermelo put him right up there with the factory teams, until his charge was halted by a spectacular roll. Clearly, this roll didn't dampen his bravery as he slung the blue and red Auris through Culturama in a time of 10 minutes 55.8 seconds, only 0.5 of a second slower than Habig and 3 seconds back from Johnny Gemmel in the Works Toyota.
I mean, I took it a bit cautious the first 1 or 2 Ks. I mean, the last time we were sitting on the rock watching a car that rolled. So it takes a bit of time to get your confidence back.
Further down the field, Jaapie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton in the New Africa Developments C-Track-sponsored Toyota Auris set the 7th fastest time, with JP Damso and Caroline Swan in the team Total Runix completing the stage at 8th position. Jaco van Dijk and Des de Fortier claimed 9th, while the last position in the top 10 went to Charles Wilken and Greg Godrich in the Basil Reed Bizzup Fiesta. Their time of 11 minutes 14.7 seconds was nearly 35 seconds off the blistering pace set by Rotenbach in a similar car.
Medium hair right, stay in.
While the top teams were fighting it out for stage honours at the head of the field, Culturama took its toll on the competitors from some of the other classes. 5 crews had to call it quits after stage 1, including Fecken in his S2000. Other casualties were Dolf Coetzee and Jacques Nel in their Class A5 Toyota Taz, as well as Andre Kleinwerk and Kesavan Naidu, who rolled badly and had to be evacuated by ambulance. Their injuries turned out to be minor, and much the same can be said for Morna Jansen van Rensburg and Derek Jacobs and the Atco City Golf, who also crashed out in stage 1. Megan and brother Oliver Verlack ran into a problem with the fuel pipe of the Class N3 Toyota Runnix, while the retirement of Guga Zulu and Cindy Harding in the Class A7 BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polo due to a steering rack mount failure left only a single competitor running in their class.
Conrad Rotenbach finds himself at the top of the leaderboard after stage 1, with the works crews of Toyota's Gemmel and Volkswagen's Habich a comfortable 12 seconds behind him. But the first 5 cars behind this speedy Zimbabwean are all within 10 seconds of each other, so the fight is far from over. The Volkswagen Rally continues after the break as the crews take on the next 2 gravel stages in the Longmoor Forest. With just 1 stage done and dusted, Longmoor has proven yet again that it takes more than just raw speed to emerge victorious from the pine tree. With a single stage behind them, the crew